Have you ever heard the legend of the Great One? Well, it's a good one. It all starts in a world of ankle-breaking crossovers and rim-shattering dunks. One man, simply known as the Great One, set the world ablaze with defense that struck fear in the hearts of would-be scorers and an offensive skill set no one could stop. His high-flying dunks and graceful finishes at the rim always left the crowd silent or screaming for more. One-on-one defenders stood no chance. He broke them down with the slightest of ease, scoring at will on any defender assigned to guard him, while still maintaining his defensive responsibilities. He was the complete player. Until his relentless pursuit got him the achievement he fought so hard for, the thing he wanted most, a championship. And after all of that, he outshined the biggest stars on the biggest stage possible. The Great One disappeared, never to be heard from again. For years, fans waited for another phenom to capture their imaginations, and for years, they were disappointed. Until now. As the world began to take notice of one of basketball's brightest rising stars, they couldn't help but notice the similarities between this up-and-comer and the Great One. The undeniable leadership that creates instant chemistry among his teammates, and the willingness to put his team on his back in the toughest of situations, coupled with a knack for pulling off amazing plays on both offense and defense. To basketball fans, it was as if they were watching the Great One in action once again. It seemed that everything the Great One pulled off, this up-and-comer was more than capable of doing. There was nothing off limits to him, nothing he couldn't accomplish. He was loved by all. That is, until his confidence began to turn into arrogance, alienating him from his teammates. He began to shun his coach's advice and ignore workouts, practices, and meetings. His new on-court persona had emerged. He chose to not work within the coach's plan. He chose not to make plays for his teammates, instead choosing to rely on his raw talent to get the job done. Mistake after mistake led him to be going from a fan favorite to a shunned afterthought. That's when he realized no matter how good his stats were at the end of the game, he wasn't doing what was best for the team. He needed to make a change if he was going to become one of the best, and he knew it. In order to get his mind together, he took a much-needed trip home. He was able to go back to some of the courts and gyms he played in as a kid and meet and talk and play with some of the friends and family that raised him. And all of this reminded him of why he loved the game in the first place. Contemplating the error of his ways, he saw the change he needed, but wasn't sure if he was ready to make it. He returned to the game with a renewed love for it and an intense focus on defense. His team play seemed to return almost immediately. His natural playmaking ability allowed coaches to usher him back into the system like he never left it. It was clear that he now had all the tools needed to take over the NBA, and he wouldn't let any man stand in his way. Dimer, with the vision and the ability to hit his teammates in rhythm with accurate passes that rival that of the greatest quarterbacks, he never has a problem getting an assist, which means his teammates never have a problem scoring. Taking less shots and passing more helped the whole team improve. He never missed an open teammate, and that let the world know he is the premier playmaker in this league. Lob City passer. Never one to miss an opportunity at a highlight play, he loved leading the break and delivering a perfect pass in the air to a teammate soaring towards the rim. Quick points, easy points, and stylish points are what he became known best for. But it most certainly wasn't the only thing he was known for. Posterizer. Probably the most natural of his many abilities was his gift for dunking on any defender left under the rim when he stormed the basket, and he had no problem giving this gift whenever possible. It did not matter to him whether it was on a short defender, a tall defender, a big defender, or a small defender. Sometimes he even had no choice but to do it on multiple defenders. Nothing would stop him from getting to the basket, and everyone across the league knew that. Well, he both rose and fell in spectacular fashion, but he got back up, and that's what's most important. Committing errors is not what makes you bad. It's failing to learn from the errors is where you fault. Will he fall from stardom again? Will he dominate the NBA? Is he good enough to become the player that people talk about for generations? Well, that's not for me to know or for me to say. I'm just here to tell you the legend of the great one.